Well, I hope you like the poem by Yeats, The Lake Isle of Innisfree. It was a short and sweet poem. Now today again we'll do a new poem. This is a poem by Alexander Pope, Essay on Man, and it's the first 18 lines. Just as we did the invocation in Paradise Lost, first 1 to 26. So also, this is a short poem, but this you can't rush through because Pope has this wonderful habit of condensing his thought into couplets, 2 lines. Like we have dohas, 2 lines. So he writes couplets. He's very famous for that. He's able to put every thought, trivial, serious, grave, important, very quotable. He's a great poet of the early 18th century. 1688 is his date of birth, and 1744 he died. He was well educated, but because he was a Catholic in the times when Protestants were very important in England, he could not get public posts and jobs, and plus he was a bit lame, and he was very bitter about his physical appearance. Everyone laughed at his poems, but no one wanted to marry him. He was a bit grieved about that. He had a friend, Lord Bolingbroke, who I was talking about man and humans and how unpredictable they are and what they can do and what they can't do. And so he wrote a very reflective poem. It's called The Essay on Man, but it's a set of 4 poems or 4 parts, 4 epistles between 1733 and 1734. And this poem, it describes the different states or conditions or mental, levels of a human being. So already by the time as scholarship improved, people were discussing God and man and trying to understand him. So in this poem, he wants us to think about man only. He says, God we can't understand and explore. We have to just worship and adore him. But let us, think more about man and man's possibilities and potential. So it's a poem that's very wise. In fact, that is why I jumped it at that time. And now you're older and wiser. You've been studying for more than a month. And so I hope that I'll go very, very slowly with this poem. But I just hope that all of you will understand it, and learn it, and be wise with the quotations. Know then thyself, presume not God to scan. The proper study of mankind is man. Know thyself. William Shakespeare has this line, know thyself, in Hamlet. Know thyself is recognize yourself, understand yourself, examine yourself, look within. Sometimes we think others are bad, others are lazy, others are mean, others are heartless. And when we examine our own actions, sometimes we find that we also act and think like that. So don't scan, you've got the scanner nowadays. To scan is to look carefully. So don't study God and analyze his attributes and find fault with him or whatever. Human beings should study man only. Because if we are the only people who can learn. So if we can learn, we can get better. Placed on this isthmus. Now if you've learned some geography and you look at the continents of North America and South America, they are joined by a narrow bit of land which they have dug and made the Panama Canal. There's a Panama, there are a few smaller kingdoms, small countries in that narrow bit of land. So isthmus is that narrow bit of land that joins 2 continents and placed on this isthmus of a middle state. So we are not animals and we are not divine. We are humans. So we are in between God and beasts. A being darkly wise and rudely great. Now even the poorest and most illiterate and apparently most ignorant person also has some wisdom. He'll see a snake and leap, or he'll see a bear and jump on a tree, or he'll be able to understand nature and Like many tribals, when they, days before the tsunami, they went into caves. So, a being darkly wise. He's not brilliant. All human beings are not brilliantly full of wisdom and knowledge and understanding, but they have their own ways of understanding the world around them. And rudely great. We're like all rough, uncut diamonds. Rude is, here the word rude does not mean bad mannered, it means primitive, rough. So we have a potential of greatness within us. When the results come out, you find people who are, on the streets or in the slums, or tea makers' daughter who's done very well in NEET. You find these stories every year that our parents who have got a lot of money grumble at their children. Then look at that child, what facilities did he have and how he did well. So that rudely great, they have that potential. Everyone, sometimes when you have those super 30 and all, poor boys, farmers' sons, farmers' daughters, they join that super 30 and they study very hard and they do very well. But when if you see them sitting, you won't, look at them and imagine that they have any capacity for greatness. So they may not, know to style their face or do any makeup or be very trendy, but they are brilliant. They can learn, they can understand, they can remember. So this potential that humans have, he says they have a wisdom that you can't recognize easily. It may not be obvious, and they have greatness within them that may have a rough appearance, but it is there. With too much knowledge for the skeptic side. Underline the word skeptic and write doubter. D-O-U-B-T-E-R. One who doubts and distrusts the police. Now, exams are scheduled in May. So you can't think the university CSDM exams. I've told you this. Some of you have heard it. Some may take longer to hear it if you haven't joined the class. But you may think that ma'am is just talking. But if there's no corona in April, then the exams will happen. They will happen. After all, we conducted exams for BSc third year and BA third year and BCom third year and MA final. This year exams were conducted and results are out. So you cannot rest and hope that just as you went from 12 to BA, you will go from BA part 1 to BA part 2. Too much knowledge for the skeptic, the doubter. You cannot doubt. When you have knowledge, you cannot doubt. If there's food in the house and your mother is cooking in the kitchen, then you can expect to have dinner. You can't think that there won't be dinner. No, food is cooking. You're getting some lovely smells, so dinner will be there. On Diwali, God willing, you had a good meal. You had a festive meal, because at least if we didn't go buying new clothes and we didn't spend a lot of money on crackers, we at least got a good meal. So doubter. A doubter is someone who thinks this can't happen. And so a human being has too much knowledge to be a doubter. He knows many things. So he can't doubt that tomorrow will come. I don't know whether tomorrow will come or not. Let us see. It will come. If you are going to sleep tonight, tomorrow will come. So the human being has a lot of knowledge. He can't doubt and escape his duties. With too much weakness for the Stoic's pride. Now, the Stoic it's a word from the Greek philosophy. Greek philosophers were there. Some of them thought, eat and drink and be merry, be impervious. Do not attach too much importance to pleasure or pain. Do not add too much importance to pleasure or pain. Accept them both, calmly. Don't be excited in the time of pleasure, and don't be over depressed and sad in the time of pain. Stoic. Jo hona hoga hoga. India also has a lot of stoic elements in its philosophy. Now, to be a stoic, you have to be very strong. Too much weakness. We are easily impressed. Acha, wow, wonderful. So some pleasure is awaiting us. We are excited. आज उन्होंने खाने पे बुलाया है. Oh, wow, wonderful. And someone won't come or something won't happen. Oh, how sad we are. So we surrender to the emotions of sorrow very easily. We surrender or we get excited by the emotions of joy or the possibilities of joy. So we are not so strong as to be impervious, not unaffected by joy or sorrow. So he is, that so we can be excited, we can be happy, and we can be sad, and we have a lot of knowledge. So we can't be either skeptic or stoic. Now see, he's found two words, with S, skeptic and stoic. They both end in a C and a K sound, so they are both rhyming. So neither can we be skeptics nor can we be stoics. We have a lot of knowledge and we are not strong enough. We are very vulnerable to the swings of fate or circumstances. We can be happy or sad, and so we're not so strong. So that is an important, so many qualities. First of all, we must study man. Man is the only being who is standing in between a divine condition and an animal or a beastly condition. But he has a lot of wisdom, he has a potential for greatness, he has a lot of knowledge, and he is not so strong as to, face sorrow and joy, with equanimity equally. Then this poem has 3 verses, so I'll go along to the next verse. He hangs between in doubt to act or rest, in doubt to deem himself a god or beast. Now he is uncertain. Now what should we do? Now corona times have come, the government every day, Amitabh Bachchan tells us, mat nikaliye, mask hai zaruri, 2 gaz duri, and jab tak dawai nahi, koi dhilai nahi, Modi ji tells us. So we are in doubt. Should we go out? Should we sit at home? And yet you find lots and lots of people are going out. So some are going out in search of work, some will come to college to study, and some will go to the market to buy, some will go to sell. So man is like that. He doesn't know what to do, whether he should be working or he should be resting. He hangs between. So he's in that intermediate stage. It's not clear, he's unsure, he's not definite about what kind of action he should take. In doubt to deem himself, deem is consider. CONSIDER. Think about. Deem himself a god or beast. हम देवता है, देते हैं. Wow, Hindi has a good am I a god or am I an animal? Have I to eat and like a glutton and not worry about anyone else? Have I to do that? Or have I to be divine and God doesn't need anything? No matter how many offerings we make before him of fruits and food, does he eat them? Those statues can't eat a spoon of food. And God doesn't need, the whole world is his, so he doesn't need our food. We, out of love and honor, we do make offerings to him, but he doesn't need them. So how should I act? Should I act as if everything is mine and I'm a god? Or should I act as if I'm an animal and today what I get I must eat and consume and enjoy and kill and whatever? So man is not certain about whether to act or rest, whether to do something or avoid doing it, or whether to think of himself. Who is he? Is he made in the image of God, or is he only an intelligent animal? And that makes a big difference in his actions. Very profound sentence. Sometimes that for those 2 lines you can write a page. Because if you think you are made in the image of God, then you have to be like him, good, merciful, generous, kind, just. And if you're an animal, then there are no consequences. Lions and tigers and sheep and snakes and monkeys, do they think हमें करना है, नहीं करना है? उनका जो मन आता है करते. What they like to do, they do. So either we behave irresponsibly or we behave with great responsibility, because we're made like God and therefore we must act in a way to honor him. Born. In doubt his mind or body to prefer. Then these are again 2 aspects that we have. We have in our action, we have an option of acting or resting. In a concept of ourselves, we can think we are animal or divine. And then our mind or body. Now, if I'm a diabetic, so my mind tells me sweets are bad, but my tongue says, "Oh, what lovely memories I have of this sweet. Can't I have some more sweet?" You know. So, in doubt whether mind or body, whether to go by principles or by desires, whether to think of long-term, results of our actions, or to think of short-term joys or pleasures. Let me go here, let me eat this, let me do that, without any moderation. So all those three very important aspects of our life: born but to die, and reasoning but to err. E-R-R, is to make a mistake. Born but to die. Of course, I hope all of you are young and will live long, and your parents are also young, in their 40s perhaps. Some of you may have your parents in your 50s, you are the youngest child. Otherwise, your parents should be in their 40s, early 40s, mid 40s. So may your parents live long. But, when people, turn to crime, turn to evil deeds, turn to misappropriation, exploitation of fund of others, they think हम अजर अमर हैं, हम गलत करते जाएंगे और बचते जाएंगे. And then sometimes there's a rude reckoning, and their wealth gaining or whatever they have done, to harm their neighbor, just comes to an end, and either they die suddenly or they are taken to prison. So that's a sad thing. But if we remember that we have to die, there will be many things that we won't buy, we won't engage in, कि जाएंगे न्याय करेंगे ईश्वर, हमें सजा मिलेगी, इनाम मिलेगा. So if I remember that I have to die, then I will be responsible in all the actions that I undertake, in all the things that I do, in all the choices that I make. So man must remember he is born but to die. He one day or the other, 50, 80, 90, 100, whatever it is, he will die. He will leave all that he has gained behind him. So if he has done a good job, his family will remember him with love and honor. And if he has been cruel and harsh and merciless and greedy, the people will not remember him with honor. They'll say, good riddance, good he died. Sorry, I just have a drink of water. And reasoning, logic. Now when we look out, we see that many people are not wearing masks. Why are they not wearing masks? Arey, corona hai nahi, kuch hoga nahi. So, but what happens? That already there are cases of this coronavirus patients, the numbers are increasing. So they may have a logic that wahan kuch nahi hai, kuch nahi hoga, but they are making a mistake. So in any situation, I should give dowry. Why should I give dowry? My daughter, they will look after my daughter. But maybe your daughter is educated, maybe she'll be earning a salary, and in any case she'll be working, cleaning, cooking, washing. Why should she be given a dowry? So if I'm the girl's father, I've been conditioned to give the dowry. If I'm a boy's father, I'm conditioned to ask for it. Hey, my son. So you have a son and I have a daughter. When we love them both. We have fed them both, we have educated them both. So there's no logic for dowry. But dowry is given. It is asked for and it is given. So in all the things that we do, often we have used our logic, but we have come to wrong conclusions. Sometimes daughters are killed in the womb. The doctor says, my wife is expecting a baby girl. Oh my, 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs, now the wedding at 20 lakhs. Let me spend a few thousand rupees and get rid of this baby. But it's a life. It's a God-given life. What God will do with us for that murder, we don't know. No one's imprisoning us for murder, but we are murdering. So, but there are a lot of people in favor of it, very good logic. So sometimes, we have good reasons to do a thing, but it still may be a mistake. Our good reasons may not be valid morally or ethically. There's euthanasia, assisting old people to die. Now imagine if the government of India gives us an option that if old people are sick and can't be looked after, we can help them to die. And we asked them कि आप बहुत परेशान हैं, आप मरना चाहती हैं? Now that old lady is wondering, they want me to die. हाँ बेटा ठीक है, मर जाते. So imagine how many more people will die. Some will ask, some will not ask, some will forge a signature and say नहीं मेरी दादी मेरी नानी को मरने का मन है, please हम उनको मार दें. What a kind of spate of murders will go across the country. So there's a good reason that okay, they are suffering and therefore their suffering must come to an end. But God who has given life will take them one day. Till that time, we are supposed to do our best to keep them alive, honestly, sincerely. So, but now in modern times, there are lots of new logics and reasons, and we may be making mistakes. So even 400 years ago, 300 years ago, in 1733, when 33, 34, he wrote this poem. So when he was writing this poem also, people were like that. And now we are much worse. So he says, that we are born to die. Let us remember that. And no matter how many good reasons we have for the wrong thing, we still make mistakes. Alike in ignorance, his reason such, whether he thinks too little or too much. Now this is a sweeping generalization in which all of us, can be included. No matter, whether we think too much, then also sometimes we miss the point. And whether we think too little, then also we miss the point. Alike in ignorance, the scholar, the most learned man, and the most ignorant man, both of them do not know or understand, or you can use a better word, comprehend the true reality. Christians have this thought that God has made us in His image and likeness to rule over the world, but not to rule over each other, to treat each other with fairness and kindness and love and gentleness and forgiveness and mercy. But where does anyone live like that? Christians, non-Christians, all over the country, all over the world, we are busy killing and murdering and making so many plans for the harm of each other. So whether they're great thinkers and generals and scholars and leaders and presidents and prime ministers, or peasants and farmers and workers and laborers, who have a very myopic or short-term, very limited understanding of the world, both of us, and whether in the greatness of knowledge or in the, with little, we still, both of us, at both extremes, we have not come to a real understanding of what it is to be a human being. We have missed the point. The poor man thinks I'm nothing, the great man thinks I'm everything. Neither the poor man is nothing, nor the great man is everything. We are all human beings given a chance to live on this planet and to do God's will and then to go and face Him. But very few of us understand that we are like, trustees. We are guardians, we are protectors. If we are rich, we have to help the poor. If we are poor, we have to serve the rich with an honest and faithful heart and hope that, by labor, by industry, we may improve our lives. But all of us, no one has to be lazy. Neither the rich must be lazy, they don't have a lot of money, let me sleep late. And neither the poor says, I have nothing to lose, let me sleep late. Both must get up and work and do their duty honestly, lovingly, carefully, with an eye on how to do better and better, so that they can bless and benefit their fellow human beings. So both these verses, they can make you think. There's lots to think and lots to write on these two verses. I have one more verse that I will do on Tuesday. Let us see if I'm able to have an interactive class. Actually, we are in college now from 9 to 2. That's a recommended time. We have other students coming in. So let us see. If I'm able to have a class, interactive class on Tuesday, I'll try and see that. And otherwise, we'll have a regular class. You're all welcome. Next week, from the 1st of December, you're supposed to be coming to college. Of course, I 100% won't come, but I would welcome you. We have very large rooms. I have a 70-seater room in which there are 70 seats. So, 30 students can sit very, very comfortably, and if we are careful, more can fit in. So do think of coming to college. It will be just wonderful to see all of you again, and all your questions, save them and keep them, and come inside the classroom, not really spend time in the college lawn and enjoy your friends' company. So, see you. God bless.